It's another beautiful evening that the Lord has given unto us. I'm so excited that we are still moving. We are moving forward, and it has been an amazing thing that God is teaching us every other time that we meet here at Marriage Bliss. My name is Kanjagua, and this is Tough Love. No retreat, no surrender. I believe that you have been learning. If you have missed out on any video, kindly just go back and follow through, because this is the seat is becoming hotter every day, and we are learning every day. And I thank God for the amount of love that you have shown us. Thank you very much for everyone that has subscribed, everyone that has shared, everyone that has called on people to join us as we learn together. I have received tremendous testimonies, people that are talking about what this has done to their marriages. I'm so excited, and I believe that this is just but a beginning, and we are moving forward together. So last time we talked about the three pillars of rebuilding from the ground up, and we talked about God as one of the pillars, and we really went into it. And today I want us to take the next pillar, the next two pillars, and I believe that God will help us to finish the next two pillars today so that we move forward, because I believe that every time that God gives us to sit down and just discuss these matters is a time where we are learning from one another, is a time where God is allowing us to grow from one level to another. So pillar number 2, from where you left your notes last time, I believe that you're writing down your notes, and it's in the tablets of your hearts, or you're writing down on a book, but I believe that you're learning from it, because this is the doing of God. Pillar number 2 is accountability partner for each one of you. You see, when we talk about accountability partners, I know we talk about accountability partners as something that we need to have as a couple, and it is very important to have accountability partners as a couple, but also, more importantly, it is also important to have accountability partners individually, that the wife has an accountability partner, the husband has an accountability partner. If they happen to be the couple's accountability partners, then the better. But individually, you need to have accountability partners. This second pillar is that you have to have foundation for accountability. Whenever you don't have accountability, whenever you're not held accountable for what you do, for what you say, then you become rogue. You do anything for just any reason, and it becomes difficult to get that where you need to get to, because that is where God has called you to get. And people have been asking, so what do I need to look out for when I'm selecting an accountability partner? What is this characteristic that I need to check out for? If I was to give it as a job description, what are some of the characteristics or the descriptions that I need to put down for the accountability partner? Today, that is what we are discussing. Number 1, he needs to love Jesus. She needs to love Jesus. Oh Lord, they have to be born again. You cannot decide that today, my accountability partner is not born again, and they will hold me accountable. It's a lie. They will lead you astray, and that is what we are trying to run away from. So it is important. Number 1, they need to love Jesus. They need to know God. They need to have a personal relationship with God, so that they become a positive influence to you individually and to you as a couple. Number 2, they need to love you. You see, this is a person that you're supposed to walk through in the journey of life. This is a person that you're supposed to walk with throughout where you're going. So anytime they don't love you, if they don't have you at heart, then they're not going to be effective in whatever they're supposed to do. They are people that should love you without a reason. That they're people you can call and just talk about anything and everything, and they will trust you and they will love you. Number 3, they need to be outside the family. They are not supposed to be family members. You see, again, this is your marriage. You need to safeguard the sanctity of your marriage. You need to safeguard the image of your spouse. So anytime you talk about your marriage to a person who is a family member, they will see them in a different light. But someone who is not a family member, you can easily tell them, explain to them what is happening in your marriage, and it becomes very easy for you to have this discussion. Number 4, they need to know how to keep secrets. You see, this is a person that you're sharing with the deepest secrets of your marriage. This is a person that you're telling anytime things are going wrong. You cannot have an accountability partner that you cannot tell your secrets. That is not an accountability partner. That is an acquaintance. So you need to have an accountability partner that can keep secrets, that you can tell, that you can go to them and cry and tell them what is going on, and they will keep that information as a secret. Number 5, they need to be able to confront you without hesitation and without reservation. That these are supposed to be people that can tell you the truth, the hard truth, however painful that truth is, however hard that truth is to take. They need to be people that you can tell, and they can tell you back. They can tell you, hapa ulifanya ufala na hatutaki kusikia hii kitu imefanyika tena, and you will listen to them. Again, there are people who select accountability partners because these people cannot tell them anything. These people are not people that they can listen to, so that it becomes just another name, accountability partner, so that you pass that test and say, I have an accountability partner. It is not an addition to the list of friends that you have. This is a person that should be able to confront you without hesitation. Anytime they feel that you have done something wrong, they need not to be reserved. They need to come to you directly. And if you do something right, also, they need to have that opportunity, an open door for them to come and tell you. Number 6, they should be people, or he should be, or she should be a person that is able to comfort you. This should be a person who is able to empathize with you, is able to comfort you, is able to tell you, put sense into your head, and it is a person who will stand by you, a person who will hold your hand, a person who will walk through with you, a person who will not be ashamed to take you through any mud that you are in until you get to the other side. Number 7 is a person who should be able to encourage you. Again, don't sit with someone who does not know what to say when things are wrong, when things are not going right. They should be a person that can encourage you, that you will listen to and you feel, I have actually had a conversation with someone that has helped me. Number 8 is a person that should be able to listen. There's a difference between hearing and listening. This is a person who is able to listen to you. This is a person who is able to listen to the silent whispers that you give. They are able to listen to what you are saying and what you're not saying. They are able to listen to the non-verbal cues, that they will look at you and know that this is what you're saying, and this is what you're not saying, but it is loud in your non-verbal cues. And lastly, they should be a person that can make that can make time for you regularly and talk and pray with you. This is not a person that you should be meeting once a year. It is a person that you should be meeting regularly, a person that you can trust and tell them, I would want to see you this week. I would want to see you in a couple of days. And it's a person that should be able to just put that time together and sit with you. They can be at your age. This accountability partner can be your age mate, can be older than you, or also can be younger than you. This person may be a friend already. They may be someone you have met or someone you have not met, but they need to be very comfortable around you. Whether you have met them or not, there are people that sometimes they have met your spouse, but they have not met you, and you get time and you relate with them in a particular manner, and you become friends ultimately, but you had never known one another before. So they need to be people that are easily approachable and people that you can talk to, preferably, because now we are talking about marriage, preferably they need to be married. They need to be married, and happily so for that matter. Because sometimes you sap out something from the people that you associate with. The Bible says that Moses stood with God, stayed with God, until he rubbed off glory from God. And he rubbed off this glory and became like God. So your accountability partner needs to be married and happily married for that. So your marriage, your partner's marriage may not be perfect. There's none that is perfect, but it should be strong, it should be stable, it should be healthy, and it should be growing better. That there needs to be milestones that you can tell that this person has gone through. This person is healthy. This person is strong. This person, their relationship is stable, that they are not going through some of the issues. Because you see, again, there is a problem with us because we want to get our own cohort so that we reminisce the problems that we are going through. Tujiweke kwa kona moja, and we are all crying the same cry, and we are all saying, my wife did not do, my husband did not do. It should be someone that is having a stable marriage, a strong marriage, a healthy marriage. It should be a person that is in a stable, a strong, a healthy, and a growing marriage. They need to be married and happily married for that. So your relationship should not be one way. It should not be that you are the one that is looking for them all the time. They also need to just put up that energy. They need to put up that strength to reach out to you and make sure that you are growing together, you're moving together, and you are meeting together. My recommendation will be meet at least once a week. This is a person that you can talk to, that you can tell the progress of your life, the progress of your marriage. At least meet once a week. If it is face-to-face, the better. If it is face-to-face, the better. Because there are things that you can pick up from a person without them speaking, but having that time that you have spent with them, and you look at them and you can tell what is going on in their lives. So don't use text messages, don't use email, don't use mailbox to communicate some of the personal things that you're going through. It is not advisable to use these forms to communicate. The meeting should be in a quiet and a private setting. Don't meet up in a noisy hotel and say, we are having our meeting, our face-to-face meeting with my accountability partner. No, find a cool, calm place. Because you see, you are talking about sensitive matters, so you need their entire attention. You need their entire attention. So it should be in a private setting, and at least whatever you're going to be discussing, at least discuss it for a maximum of 1 hour. Because the attention of any human being ends after 1 hour. That is psychology. The attention of any human being ends after 1 hour. So make sure that whatever you're talking about at least lasts for 1 hour. You can have a glass of juice and talk about all other things, but you have already talked about the most important things. The steps that you need to explain to them, discuss with them the specific steps that you're taking towards working on your marriage, and also the obstacles that you're facing. Don't be ashamed to talk to them about the obstacles that you are facing. Again, let us use the mediums that God has put to us, the mediums of communication that we can use. You can use a phone call, you can use a WhatsApp call, you can use a Zoom meeting, but make sure that most of these meetings are physical. Most of these meetings, the reason why we say most of these meetings are physical is because the moment you sit with a person, you're able to build up momentum. You're able to build up around each other and warm up around each other and become friends, better friends than the previous times that you had not met. So save intensely personal things. The intensely personal things, save them for the face-to-face. There are things that you can discuss on phone. There are things that you can discuss on WhatsApp call. There are things that you can discuss on Zoom. But there are things that are very sensitive that you need to discuss on a one-on-one or a personal meeting. Make sure that that is well noted so that every time that you sit with them, again, don't look for expensive places. Just look for a place that you can sit, have a cup of coffee, and just discuss with this person whatever is happening, the steps that you're taking, the obstacles that you're facing, the things that you're seeing, and they will be able to walk with you. They will be able to pray with you. There will be a plus in your life. Start thinking now. Now that we are having this discussion, if you don't have an accountability partner, start thinking about them. If you have an accountability partner that has not been stepping up to their roles, you need to start reviewing them now. So we will not wait until we are finishing up with tough love. That is when we will go back and start saying, so where did we leave it? So where do we need to pick it up? No, we deal with something as we go. So make sure that you find an accountability partner. You can find a pastor who you can talk to, a friend who you can talk to, a colleague that you can talk to, that you can trust with everything that you need. For a variety of reasons, you will select a person because of the things that you are gaining from them, but make sure that this accountability partner you have started thinking about them now. I know you have them in your mind. I know you have people that you have looked at their marriages, looked at their lives, and you say, this particular person is someone that I can actually trust with what I am going through. So the right person will be willing. They will have kindness. They will look at you as a brother. They will look at you as a sister. So they will walk with you because they believe that your marriage should be strong enough and will stand. If you don't have an accountability partner as at now, begin the program of looking for one. Don't stop and wait until things are bad, things are wrong, and that is when you want to get accountability partners. Get a friend that you can walk with. Get a person that you can pray with. Do not look for someone that is so sophisticated. You know, some of us say my accountability partner or my mentor is TD Jakes. It is good. Maybe he's your mentor, but make sure that you have someone that you can easily access, someone that you can easily talk to, someone that you can easily find, and they will help you a lot. As you're selecting this person, you need to be very prayerful because this person is coming in as a strength, as a pillar in your life. So don't just select because someone looks good or dresses well or looks good on photo. Make sure that you have prayerfully selected a person, prayerfully selected a couple, prayerfully, and you are there just believing God and saying that this person is the person that I would want to walk with. This is the person that I would want to keep as an accountability partner, and I will talk to them. And the moment you reach out to these people will be willing, they will be able, they will hold your hand, they will not let you go, they will want the best for you at all times. So number three of the pillars that we are talking about today of rebuilding from the ground up, number 3 is couple talk times. Couple talk times. You know, I came to realize one of the big problems that we are having is that people don't talk. In this age of WhatsApp, in this age of social media, people stopped talking. And you see, whatever we are doing on WhatsApp and on social media is what we are doing in the marriages. That you can blue tick a person and you don't listen to them. That you can look at a person as they are talking, but you have not heard anything. And again, we have gotten to a place where we go to the house and we don't let go of our phones, we don't let go of our gadgets, we don't let go of anything that we are holding. Our spouses are on television, they are watching a movie. It is all very good. But when we come to couple talk times, we need to be very intentional. That you are intentional of talking about what you're going through. You're intentional of having this conversation, that it is an intentional conversation. This conversation needs to be 20 to 30 minutes every day. I'm pausing because I know people don't talk. That you need to take 20 to 30 minutes. Start by that. that have this conversation. These 20 to 30 minutes are time that you have put for you to be together. Time together is foundational and it is intimate. It brings an intimacy in you that you had not experienced before. I know time does not necessarily bring intimacy, but the more you spend time together, it will guarantee you intimacy. So it is absolutely necessary for intimacy to be created. It is absolutely necessary for intimacy to be created. So whenever you're making time to be together, you can produce some of the positive flows in your relationship and begin the process of reconnecting. You see, the process of connecting and reconnecting is a process that you go through, a process that you allow yourself to move through. It is a ladder that you go up by, and you decide that this is the growth curve that I want. And this growth curve needs to come with you two deciding we're going to take time together, we're going to take time spending together. You become masters. People have become masters at avoiding each other. Oh, Jesus. That you live in the same house, you work in the same company, but you are avoiding each other. That a man will come home at 2 a.m. so that we don't have a conversation. During COVID, I heard of a person who said that they used to go home because curfew again. They used to get to the compound at 8 p.m., but they will get into the house at 2 a.m. You can imagine that you are willing to stay in the parking lot for all that while so that you avoid this person. And avoidance does not cause any good thing in any marriage. So you need to be intentional. Even if it is awkward to talk, even if it feels like it is forced, you start there. Don't start when you feel as if you have everything in place. Don't wait until you have everything in check for you to start. You start from where you are and you decide this is where we are, this is where we're going to build it from, so that you rebuild your marriage. God is willing to help you. God is willing and able and eager to help you in your marital recovery, but it needs you to also take up your responsibility. Sometimes we give God a lot of responsibility and we don't take responsibility by ourselves. We are always there saying, God will help me, God will hold my hand. But what are you doing towards the same? You need to create time. You need to put together time where you are walking together with your spouse. You're walking together with this person until you become a better version of yourself. So when you make time to be together, you can work on anything and improve every area of your marriage. When you create time, you see, nobody has 28 hours in a day, but time is created. You create time and you set aside time for things that you value, things that you love, things that you appreciate. And this is also something that is very important. Your marriage is very important. So set aside time, create time. You will never have enough time to spend with your spouse. You will never have enough time to spend with your husband, with your wife, but you can create that time, because the time that God has given to you is a time that you can work with and create and recreate moments. So doing these talk times will be very difficult, I will assure you. They will be very difficult at the beginning, but as you move on, you will realize it is something that is doable. Let me give you a testimony of someone I was talking to, and this is what they said. They had a cold marriage. They didn't know how to begin their talks. They didn't know where to begin their talks. They were all running to the children, as you are doing. They were all running to the children, and the mother takes one child, the father takes one child, they talk to the children, then they go and lay the children down, and then you start saying, I am very tired, I want to go and sleep. Maybe sometimes you don't even say good night, sometimes you don't even say I love you, and because you're trying to avoid one another, the only time that you spend together is when you're spending time with the children. And they said that it was one of the difficult times that they ever had. But this is what they said that struck my mind. And they said, we bought a seat and put it in the bedroom. We bought a seat, put it in the bedroom, and we sat our children down and told them from 8 p.m. going onwards, it is mommy and daddy's time. From 8 p.m. going onwards, it is daddy and mommy's time. And they started that with nothing to talk about. So they would go, sit down, look at one another, sometimes hold their phone, and they started the steps. And they talked about something, they talked about another thing, they talked about another thing. And they were saying, now where they are, they talk for 3 hours and it is not enough. They talk until one of them gets drowsy, gets sleepy, and they hold one another and they sleep because they were consistent. Consistency is what you need for you to keep the conversation going. It is not about how much you're able to talk. It is not about how much you have has been used against you. What is important is start that conversation from where you are. So someone asks, and someone asked me, so what does a couple talk time look like? So does it mean that I have to go and sit there and listen to this person the whole time, accusing me and telling me what I've not done and telling me what I'm not doing? Does it mean that I have to sit there and they are blabbering everything everywhere? Does it mean that I have to sit there as they are shouting at me? No. First, you have to schedule these talk times. You have to schedule them. You need to say, we are going to have the talk times on Saturday evening. As we started our marriage, there's something that we started that helped us a lot in our previous years of marriage. And I think I'm going to have this conversation with my wife so that we bring them back. We started something that was called the CEO meeting. The CEO meeting is a meeting we used to have every week where we sat down and talked about the marriage as if it was an NGO. We talked about the marriage as if we are planning for an entire company. And we would talk about everything concerning the marriage, including the child, including our lives, including where we are going, including our vision, our mission, and all that. So you need to schedule for it. Then you need to nail down specific days and times. We have said that you need to have them at least 4 days a week. If you can have 7 days straight, perfect, the better. You aim at the sky, then you can be able to get 4. But the greatest thing is that you need to nail down specific days and times. That you nail down time and say, Wednesday, every Wednesday, we are going to have this meeting every Wednesday at 6 p.m. And by any chance something happens, try as much as possible to be there. If not, then recreate that time. Communicate and recreate that time. Don't wing it. Don't swing it and hope that the meetings will happen without planning. It will never happen because it is not something that you will do voluntarily at the beginning. So make sure that you plan and you schedule them. Number 2, make it your goal to meet every day. At least for that 30 minutes, make it your goal that you will sit down and have a conversation for at least 30 minutes. Just know how they have been, how the day has been for them, how things have been for them. Just talk about them. I was given a story of a man who wanted to divorce his wife very badly, and things were not going very well, and they were not going as he planned. And so he decided, I'm going to sign the divorce papers and present them to my wife. And he presented the papers. And as he went to the counselor, the counselor asked, when was the last time you guys had a conversation? And the man was very arrogant, and he said, there's nothing to talk about with this woman, and I don't feel I want to talk to her about anything concerning my life. And this counselor told them, as you go home, for the next 1 month, I will just challenge you. Yes, you will come back and sign these divorce papers, but for the next 1 month, just go and make sure you have a conversation at least 3 times a day. And this man was agitated and he was asking, so what are we going to be talking about? And the counselor told him, just go and find out anything. Talk about anything. Talk about the nails. Talk about her hair. Talk about anything that you can have. Make sure you carry her from bed to the sitting room and all this. And he said, this is what was very profound, that he said that when he started carrying her, when he started having a conversation with her, he realized that his wife was sick and she was dying. He realized that his wife had cancer and he never knew. And he was leaving her because she was not doing some few things, and she was not doing them not because she didn't want to, but because she was sick. So make it a goal to have these conversations daily. If your children can know that this time is mommy and daddy's time, perfect, the better, that they will know that mommy and daddy talk about everything. So a minimum of 4 couple times a week is perfect. A minimum of 4 is okay. But make sure you strive to get to 7. You see, this is something that has just crossed my mind, and I think it's important to mention that children have learned, your children have learned that you don't talk to one another concerning them. Your children have learned that you don't talk to your spouse concerning them. And what they are doing is they come to daddy and say, Daddy, we have a school trip and we have been asked to pay 1,000. Then they go to mommy and say, Mommy, we have a school trip and we've been told to pay 1,000. And because the two of you never have a conversation concerning them, both of you will give them money. And that is how we are bringing our children to a place where they are becoming arrogant, where they are becoming rude, where they are having so many things in their lives that are not right. So we make sure that we have this conversation, and the children know that we are having this conversation. Let them know that these two actually talk about everything concerning ourselves. So make it a goal to have the conversations at least every day. So pick the times that are best for both of you. It is not always easy. It is not always easy to get times that are best for both of you, but try as much as possible to strike that balance where you get time for the both of you to sit together. Then you sit together for 20 to 30 minutes during the day. Don't try night. At least you can do morning, you can do lunchtime, you can do evening. Try as much as possible to avoid when you're getting into bed, because again, you will get drowsy. There's nothing important you will say, then you will sleep off. Again, the bed is for sleep. The bed is for sex. Don't get there to have these conversations. So have these conversations before you get to bed if it is possible. So don't meet in bed. Don't meet in bed. Make sure that you're having these conversations either in the sitting room or you have a seat in the bedroom and it's comfortable and you can have the conversation. So where you meet is very important. It is very important. It must be private and it must be quiet. It must be private and it must be quiet. It must be comfortable. You have to choose a comfortable place that has an ambience, and this ambience is created. So I would recommend that you have these times before you either slightly after you take dinner, before you start going to bed, so that you're not drowsy, you're not tired, you're not overly sleepy, so that you can have this conversation. Screen out every distraction. Screen out children, screen out TV, screen out pets, screen out everything that would cause you to become distracted. Screen out your phone. Oh, Jesus. Please put your phone away as you're having a conversation with your spouse. There's a box that we want to make, and we believe that we will make it. God will help us to make it. A box that will help you to charge your phone and keep it away from where you are, so that you're able to have this conversation. Someone is asking, so who begins this conversation? So where does it all begin? Where do we start? Who starts it? Is it the husband? Is it the wife? Is it both of them? Who is going to start it? Ephesians chapter 5 and verse number 22 to 24. Ephesians 5 from verse number 22 to 24. This is what it says. Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their own husbands in everything. And this is a clear direction. Husband is the head of the wife. So husband, Mr. Husband, it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to say that you are starting. It is your responsibility to know when to have them. It is your responsibility for all this. It is tough. It is hard, but it is your responsibility as the head of the home. Number one, you need to be in charge of the scheduling. That you need to be the one who is scheduling. You say, we're going to have this conversation every Saturday, and you ask if it is conducive for both of you, or is it a time that you need to adjust. Number two, you make sure that they really happen. As the husband, Mr. Head, you need to make sure that they really happen. Number three, you need to guide the content and flow of the talk times. You need to guide the content and flow of the talk times. Make sure that you run away as fast as possible from any arising issues that may come up in the conversation. Make sure that the conversations are swift, they are important, they are sweet, they are short, they are precise, that you're having this conversation. There is a 3-step. Let me help Mr. Husband, because I know some of the husbands are looking at me and saying, this thing is very difficult. Let me just help you. 3 things that you can do to start a conversation. 3 things that you can do to start this conversation. Even the wives that would feel, let me help my husband to start this conversation. 3 things that you can do to start this conversation. Number 1 is start with a brief prayer. Again, don't pray for Kenya, don't pray for Somalia. Start with a brief prayer. And this prayer is something like, Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for our marriage. As we are having this conversation, help us to move towards getting our marriage in check. And that simple prayer, God will listen to it. Number 2 is you read a devotional. If you have a devotional, if you have a Bible study guide, read it together and have that discussion of what the things that are written there are saying. So make sure that you read together, put your minds together and put your hearts together. And lastly, number 3, ask the question, what is on your mind? Ask that question. What is on your mind? What do you think about this thing? Because at the end of the day, it is important to know what is on their mind. There's something that I listened to Bishop